Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach and the host of Take Your Life Back Today show. As an addiction recovery coach, I want to share something with you. Let me be crystal clear, leave an everlasting impact upon you. Just imagine being buried alive. You're in a coffin, but you know you're not dead. You don't know how to get out of the coffin. You tried lifting the lid, but the enormous weight upon the lid is just too heavy for you to even lift. You tried banging on the lid, maybe to unsettle the dirt so somebody might notice and start digging their way down towards you. This is what it's like to find yourself at the lowest point of alcohol and drug addiction. You know you need help, you know you can't do it on your own, but you don't know where to turn. In reality, there are people standing by your grave. You just don't know that. You just think you're going to die. Usually, though, people don't think about death when they're habitually abusing drugs and alcohol. In order to feed an addiction, you have to be great at repressing the fear of death. I often ask you, my audience, did it ever cross your mind while you're abusing drugs and alcohol that maybe, just maybe, you might overdose and take something away that was given to you by God called life? And if that's not selfish enough, what about taking your life away from the people that love and count on you most? People like your mother, your father, husband, wife, sister, brother, children, and grandchildren. With this, let me leave one last thought. Don't be like the person I'm reading about on these index cards that waited until it was too late. Instead, reach out today and call me at 844-405-HELP, and I promise I will help you take your life back. For your life is gone. People like Larry Geis are also addiction recovery coach, a life coach, over 30 years experience. He and I always tell folks like you, it doesn't matter where you came from, it doesn't matter where you've been. What matters most is that you're here looking for a better today and a brighter tomorrow. Call Larry at 516-458-2741. Larry Geis can also be found at www.odysseyconsultant.org. Larry Geis will take you from your depression to happier times, from addiction to recovery, from low self-esteem to raising your self-esteem. Larry Geis from the Geis Academy, 516-458-2741, Larry Geis. Folks, don't forget, at night, before you climb into your bed, take off your slippers. But instead of just leaving them by the edge of your bed, why don't you put them under your bed tonight? Do that every night. Put them under your bed every single night. And that way, every single morning when you wake up, you'll be forced to go on your knees to look for those slippers because they're under your bed. Then retrieve them. And while you're on your knees, give a shout out to God. Thank God for a home, clothing, family. Ask God for guidance and direction. Ask God for forgiveness and mercy. It's your personal chat line, your phone, your fax, everything combined into one. I call it knee mail, Knee mail. And that's when you're on your knees because you're retrieving your slippers. Each and every morning, pray to God and thank Him for another day, another beautiful day. Because somebody out there doesn't get the opportunity to wake up. But if you have the opportunity to wake up and you are awake and breathing and you have a heartbeat, thank God, because He is allowing you to do that, to enjoy beautiful streams and waterfalls like what's in my background here. Knee mail. Each and every morning, do that. Wake up in the morning, get on your knees and pray to God. Then put those slippers on, stand straight up, roll your shoulders back, stick your chest out, and walk with God 24/7. I want to talk about why you shouldn't think that the whole world revolves around you. One great way to make your life unnecessarily hard and difficult is to assume that the world revolves around you. But you shouldn't do that. Sure, such a belief is seductive in a way that it makes you someone who must be very important. If everyone is looking at you and talking about you all the time, then that feels and feeds into your ego. The ego wants to play the comparison game, so you may identify the position where you are more than someone else. It may be that you are prettier than someone else. Maybe also that that you're thinking that you have more money than other people. As long as you are more than someone in some way, that ego gets fed. This belief about how the world revolves around you may be based partly on how you are young in heart, and the maturity level hasn't quite set in. If you look at your parents, your siblings, and a lot of grown-ups, those people might still be tending to your needs, so the whole world feels like it revolves around you. But you need to let go of those people to constantly help you. In other words, don't ask for help all around, because not the whole world does revolve around you. However, now that we are adults, such beliefs can become limited. So we need to start feeding ourselves. We need to start clothing ourselves. We need to start paying our own bills. Thinking that the world revolves around you doesn't just mean that someone is behaving like an annoying, spoiled brat. It can be much more subtle than that. For a lot of people, this has been about sitting down and really thinking about how people's reactions to different things in everyday lives could be. You may find it useful to do some of those things and just think about where are you in life and how can you make the world a better place. This belief can certainly help you, but why should you give up to it? People always say, I want the world to revolve around you, but it's not. John F. Kennedy said, "Ask not what what the country can do for you, but what you can do for the country." Ask yourself, what can you do for the world? Well, here are four good reasons that some people use for motivation. What you might want to do is by tending to the world a little bit more. It might decrease your shyness. Everyone might not agree here, but from some of my own experience with being shy, it does, to a large part, from the belief that people care a great deal about you and who you are. Perhaps you are afraid of people will laugh or analyze you, and that might cause your shyness, and it just causes problems. Well, guess what? People have their own lives. I'm not saying that people closest to you, they don't care about you, but those people mostly may think about you a few minutes a week. Then they return to their own lives. People have their challenges at home, at work, the economy, and so on. So the shyness thing doesn't go over too well. Because if that's how you want to draw attention, to act like the whole world revolves around you, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, maybe in your head you might be the most important person in the world, but don't project that onto other people, because in their world the most important person is probably them and their own children. Now the thing here is that people tend to care if you care, though. Emotions are contagious, so if you feel nervous or act the way people feel it, also, if you don't care, then they won't usually care either. Your new belief, that's it, not all about you, makes you less conscious. You become less shy, and people will sense less of those negative feelings coming from you. Number two, you become more open to trying different things, and even some new things. Well, this is an offshot to the previous point, I guess, but when you give up on the belief that's all about your experience, a bigger social freedom, since you know the feeling constrained by how people might react to to you, and how they act to you is how you want to respond in kind. Trying new things is, of course, not only fun and a great way to grow in life, it will also provide you with proof that people don't really care, that much as you try something, you may think you bring out to the negative reaction from your surroundings. And then you are met by feedback like disinterested, or that's nice, or the eager questions from curious friends and co-workers and family. Number three, it makes it easier to deal with criticism and negativity from other people. If someone makes a personal attack or just let the destructive words flow, then remember that the criticism isn't always about you. Criticism is a way for the one critiquing you to release pent-up anger, frustration, or even sometimes jealousy, or a way to reinforce that his or her viewpoint or belief is the right one and the only one. He or she may have a habit of getting others involved emotionally, baiting them onto an argument to build a negative spiral effect, an argument, fight, or even sometimes to grab attention. It's about him or her, not about something that you did. It can have a calming effect to remember this. Number four, it makes you more open and understanding towards other people. This is surely one of the best benefits of realizing that you are perhaps not the center of the universe and the whole world does not revolve around you. It's very easy to misinterpret people when you are stuck in your old mindset. You get some criticism and you think, wow, I suck. Well, it may be about the other person being human and having a bad day or even a bad week. Let's say that that waitress at the cafe is very rude to you. You may take it personal and get angry or irritated for the rest of the afternoon, or feel like you are having a bad day and get down about yourself. But perhaps it wasn't about you. Maybe she was worried about her job. Maybe she is going through a divorce, or her dog maybe was run over yesterday. So you don't know how other people feel. You just don't know what's going on in her life. When you stop thinking that the whole world revolves around you, you experience a larger openness, and instead of going into a powerful negative reaction when someone does something, you are more understanding. Yes, reacting negatively gives you a temporary emotional rush as you feel right and poorly treated by the waitress. It's an ego popping up again, an ego you need to let go of. However, personally, I don't think that short emotional boost is worth anything, since it's always followed by negative thought loops and emotions going around and around in your mind and body. Being open and understanding can be harder than you think sometimes, but it makes you and your normal day much more pleasant to go through. How to put a stop to this belief? I don't have many fancy tips on how to replace your old beliefs with new ones. But just keep in mind that it's not all about you as much as it is about the daily life. Make it a mental habit by reinforcing those words. A written reminder here and in your daily environment, such as a post-it note on your computer and the bathroom mirror, can be a helpful thing to remember. The more you view the world through your new belief and get proof from experiences in your life, the more comfortable you'll be in those beliefs. The physical proof in the world solidifies the belief that makes it really real to you, instead of something you may have read on some blog or seen on TV. You can always try acting as you would like to feel when you feel conscious and like everyone's attention is focused on you. In such situations, on such days, act as if the world doesn't revolve around you and people don't care that much about you. After a while, and after taking action, you'll actually start to feel the way for real. It's a way to jumpstart yourself in your daily life and lead yourself into more helpful mental track. The world does not revolve around you. The world revolves around the world. What you do, what you say, and how you act is what revolves around you. So if people around you are in a bad mood, doesn't mean they're mad at you. If somebody cuts you off, it's not personally intended for you. Go through life acting as you make your own world revolve around you. And don't forget, do not forget to walk with God 24/7, and may God bless you.